What'd you say, Kirby?
You know what I said.
I am hard of hearing. What did you say?
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
We have guilty pleasures, right?
Yes.
I want to talk to you about guilty displeasures.
Okay.
So, I think I've even asked you this in other forums, but let's commit it to the internet. What movies do you think are very well done, good movies, with no obvious large flaws, and you don't want to watch it again? I have two that I can share, or you can go if you already have answers.
I do have one answer.
Yeah.
So this is the big one that a lot of people talk about, and things have changed over generations. Citizen Kane.
Oh, no!
Oh, no. It's a good movie. I can't call it not a good movie. I can't call it anything bad about it. And it's an interesting movie. I had to watch it, I think, 3 times in film school, and that somewhat rubbed me the wrong way. And I also just don't care much for it. It's definitely interesting. It's hard because I would rewatch it, but I'm never gonna.
That's the point. Like, I love Citizen Kane. I think nope. I think Orson Welles is very charismatic, and the cinematography in it's amazing. And usually what
it is. Well, this
is exactly what I'm talking about, though.
I also love Story Like You, but the cinematography in it is very notable, and there's a lot of really cool things, and it just doesn't work. It works for me, even. Like, that's the thing. It even works for me. It's a movie I liked and enjoyed. I just don't want to see it again.
Yeah, no, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Because I think there are movies out there that are overrated that we could talk about.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's not what we're talking about here. It's movies that we might, Citizen Kane could be the best movie of all time. You know what, if people really think that, great. It just is a movie I don't want to watch again.
What do you think of Orson Welles?
Orson Welles is interesting. Because we listened to You Must Remember This and the lovely voice of Karina Longworth, I know a little bit about his backstory, and it's fascinating. And even how he basically came to Hollywood and just was like, let's do all these things. And everybody's like, you're not supposed to do... Okay, we're doing it that way. And that's sort of interesting. So that backstory is really interesting. And even what happened after this, how he kind of could never really do the same thing again.
Yeah.
Like, that's all really interesting.
Do you like any of his other movies?
I haven't really seen. I really want to see A Touch of Evil, I think.
That one's interesting. It's been a little while. The Third Man?
The Third Man, yes. The Third Man is actually a movie I love. That I would easily rewatch.
Okay, so it's not Orson turning you on.
No, it's not Orson.
Or Oscar, whatever his name is.
No. What's one of yours?
I have 2. And I'm going to upset both our parents, actually.
Oh, good.
I don't like watching The Godfather or Casablanca.
Oh, no, both of them. Dad just started crying, and then Mom started crying. No.
They are both really good movies.
I love both of them.
Really good.
Yeah.
It says something about me.
What about The Godfather?
Okay, so first off with The Godfather, I don't like mafia stories. Everything's romanticized. I get it. I don't like, it's not like I think there's inherently anything wrong with romanticizing the mafia, because the film industry, romanticizes
everything.
Gangsters and all kinds of things that are actually pretty bad.
Right.
I just don't like seeing... It doesn't work for me. I'm not a huge Al Pacino fan. I'm going to go back to my favorite True Detective quote. I don't like his face. It makes me want to do things to it.
Poor Al Pacino.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's as baseless as that. Like,
sure.
I have no issue with Al Pacino. I'm just not a huge fan of his.
Sure.
I can't think of any of his movies that I love. He's in Heat, and he's good in Heat. And he's great in this. I just, yeah.
Interesting.
It's just a lot of mafia guys and family and shooting, and it's long.
None of the meaning really gets you, because it's all about, family, but, what is family?
And Marlon Brando. Meanwhile, I love Marlon Brando. He does a great performance. I don't want to watch it. It's fine. It's good. It's good. The music. Oh.
Are you ever going to watch The Godfather?
I feel guilty.
Are you ever going to watch The Godfather 2 or 3?
I should.
It's that obligatory?
I may watch The Godfather again one day and feel differently about it. I just don't. It's like, can we watch Citizen Kane instead? And Casablanca...
God, I love Casablanca.
I know, and so does everyone in our family and most of the world. And it's really good. And it has great dialogue. And I love great dialogue. I just can't get into it. I'm just kind of like, I don't care. And you're given reasons to care.
Right.
So it's certainly a flaw with me. I am wrong, I'm cold, I'm heartless, I'm a bad person. But it's like, I don't care about their love.
You don't get the love, you don't get the whole tortured nature of it.
I don't know, like, I like Humphrey Bogart, but I'm not sure if his acting style always works for me. He's very hard-boiled. And is that Ingrid Bergman?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
I like her. I don't know her acting. I don't know, because clearly the movie is the best thing
It's
ever.
got Peter Lorre in it.
It's got Peter Lorre in it. Can we watch Citizen Kane instead? And I also think one other aspect of this is I feel every time anyone brings it up, I feel this little start of dread. Because the other thing is that they are genuinely good movies. I would recommend everyone see them. If you haven't seen those movies, you need to see them. But I think because everybody loves them, and I think they're good, and I like them, I feel the dread of having to, explain.
God, you're, describing my experience with Citizen Kane. Just, because everybody thinks it's... not everybody. A lot of older critics, I feel like it's slightly a more modern thing to not look nearly as highly on it.
Yeah.
But it's I'm just...
There's this pressure to love it.
Yeah, and I'm just I don't love it.
Yeah.
It's a totally good movie, and the things that are done in it are amazing.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch it again.
Yep. I have one other one if you want, a broader one.
Oh, sure.
For me.
What's a broader one?
I don't like Charlie Chaplin that much. I really love Buster Keaton.
Oh.
It's his I'm not into let's feel sad and then laugh. Let's keep my sadness and my happiness separate.
I feel like I've seen more Keaton than Chaplin, and that's probably because of you.
It's quite possibly.
So I took a moment to think, came up with another one. Everybody loves this movie, and I'm just not, and it's a good movie, and I'm just not on board, and be prepared to think of me as the cold-hearted person.
I broke both our parents' hearts.
Yes. The Wizard of Oz.
That's a big one.
It's a big one, and it's a totally cute movie, and there's things in it that are good, and it has been a long time since I watched it. They did it on Unspooled, and this podcast that we've been listening to, and I was even thinking about it, and I'm like, they really like this movie. I must be remembering it differently than them, because it's a totally charming story that just left me not feeling much of anything, and it's the sets are great, and some of the acting is fun, and I love the camp. It's not exactly camp, but it's something like that, and it's all wonderful.
Unspooled also did Citizen Kane, so
Yes.
you're just going against them.
I'm just going against them.
I like Wizard of Oz. I'd probably rather watch it than Casablanca or The Godfather.
I can't. A part of it is that I was in a production of it once as a kid. I was a munchkin, and I have this weird memory associated with that. And I just could never really feel the emotional tug. People cry when they watch that movie, and I'm just oh.
And do you think that's what I was saying earlier? Do you think there's an aspect where you feel pressured to love it?
I do.
And you think it's a good movie that you kind of like?
It's a good movie that I kind of like, and it's totally, it's totally fine, and it's totally good. It's a good movie. And in this one, I'd actually like to rewatch just because it's been so long. Mm-hmm. It's a movie that used to play on TV all the time. Maybe it still does, but no one watches TV anymore.
Yeah.
So it's it had that weird cultural thing to it.
Yeah.
And I'm just I'm a cold... See, here's the thing. We make jokes about you being cold-hearted and you love depression and stuff. And when we're talking, you're always oh, you don't like the cold-hearted ones as much as I do. And then I go and turn and talk to my friends, and they're like, man, you are dark. And it's in comparison to you, I might be slightly less. But then I see something like Wizard of Oz, and it's just too...
Wizard of Oz has some dark stuff in it. I mean, a field full of poppies.
Yes, yeah. It has some dark stuff in it, but the tone is still so sort of reverent and charming, and it just, for some reason, it didn't hit for me, and that is my fault. You should see it if you haven't seen it. What can I say?
So our conclusion is really that you should go see The Godfather, Casablanca, Citizen Kane, and Wizard of Oz, and some Charlie Chaplin, if you haven't. But I also want to know if other people have that problem, or they've seen a movie that they know in their heart is good, and they just like it. And is it worse because you know you're supposed to love it?
Yeah, did you see 2001 and you're like, oh, that was weird as shit? What's your movie
But see, a lot of people have seen 2001 and thought that was weird as shit. It's, have you seen 2001 and you're like, that is excellent and I don't want to see it again.
Yeah. Tell us about it in the comments below.
What about Schindler's List? I feel like that's one people... I haven't seen it.
I like Schindler's List. I'd rewatch it.
Okay.
Yeah. What one for you? Tell us in the comments on Facebook, on Twitter. You should also like this video and subscribe if you want to hear more from us. We're close to 100 subscribers. It'd be cool if we got there.